Hello everyone, a very good evening to all of you. Welcome. Please let me know if I'm properly. Hope I am audible and visible. So, welcome again to the editorial session. This is the editorial that is taken from Hindu. For those who don't know me, I'm your faculty of English, Niharika John Mehra. And यहाँ पे regular sessions हमारे हो रहे हैं. We have 8 p.m. editorial classes. We discuss a lot in this. We learn vocab, we discuss grammar, understand, comprehension. Up करने के लिए कैसे क्या पढ़ना है. Okay, and then we do some questions. So those questions they help us first of all to sharpen a brain in a way जहाँ पे हमारे brain को याद रहेगा कि हमने क्या क्या सीखा है. And then जो recently read करा है वो information process करके आंसर देना होता है. So that's a short exercise and then MCQ. Right, so jaldi se like और share कर दो session को. Make sure to subscribe and if you want free PDFs, don't forget to join our Telegram. Link description में है. Yet, but I believe it looks like I'm audible and visible. It should not be a problem. So, yeah. Now we are gonna read this. आपको skim करना है, which is reading with speed without missing out on the main point. So you jump, you read important words, you focus more on subject and word. ऐसा नहीं पढ़ो जैसे translate कर रहे हो, मन में पूरा पूरा pronunciation के साथ पढ़ रहे हो. Sometimes that takes time. If you are unable to pronounce a word, you can simply go ahead and उसके प्रोनाउंसिएशन में नहीं फंसना है. दैट्स व्हाट आई मीन टू से, है ना. और धीरे धीरे योर ब्रेन विल स्टार्ट टेलिंग यू, प्रॉम्प्टिंग यू कि दिस इज एन इम्पॉर्टेंट वर्ड टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज रिटन इन द सेंटेंस. तब वो खुद ही ब्रेन आपको वहाँ उस वर्ड को ले जाएगा, आपकी आईज को उधर ले जाएगा. जस्ट ट्राई टू फॉलो दिस. वैसे भी हम डेली प्रैक्टिस कर ही रहे हैं. ठीक है, यू कैन स्टार्ट रीडिंग. You can also mention after 2.5 minutes, if you can mention in one line कि आपको क्या समझ में आया, that would be great. have time given. I'll explain you now. So आप भी comparison कर सकते हो how well you have understood. Guys, please confirm, am I audible or not? Streaming हो रही है? Any of you confirm? So share, thank you. Share negligence on the Puri stampede. This is the latest stampede that happened in the Yatra. You all might have read about it. Thank you so much. So India's shameful VIP culture has no place in public events. So VIP culture के against author यहाँ definitely बोल रहा है. There have been 9 stampedes in India the past 12 months, with 6 of them at religious gatherings. Out of 9, 6 of them they happened here. This includes the most recent one at the storied Jagannath Temple's annual chariot procession in Puri, Odisha, early on July 29, 2025. See, whenever a date is written, month, date, and year. So you see, we have in for a month or a year, and we use on for a date. If mix is given like so, always the date will take precedence. हमेशा हम importance date को देंगे तो उसी के according on आएगा. Okay. 3 people were killed and more than 50 injured. Acknowledging negligence and security lapses. दो बातों को acknowledge करा गया. State government ने करा वो. See, this is the modifier. Who acknowledged? State government. तो उसका नाम एकदम पास में लिखा है ना? कि नेग्लिजेंस हुआ, लैप्सेस हुए, गवर्नमेंट वॉज स्विफ्ट टू ऑर्डर अ प्रोब. तो गवर्नमेंट ने जल्दी से इन्वेस्टिगेशन बिठाई. द सेंचुरीज ओल्ड चैरियट प्रोसेशन इज एन एनुअल एंड मंथ लॉन्ग इवेंट बिटवीन जून एंड जुलाई. एक महीने चलता है, एनुअल इवेंट है. बट द हार्ट ऑफ द फेस्टिवल इज इन द 9-day चैरियट प्रोसेशन और रथ यात्रा when Lord Jagannath travels with his 2 siblings. ये जो उसके पीछे की कहानी है, to their aunt's home. Now, this is the 9-day chariot procession जो कि काफी मायने रखता है लोगों के लिए. About 500,000 devotees visit 3-kilometer radius around the temple. और ये इतने लोग आते हैं. While a full investigation is pending, initial report suggests the telltale signs, मतलब कि जो signs indicate कर रहे हैं of a stampede were overlooked. तो इनिशियल रिपोर्ट सजेस्ट कि जो साइंस है जो कि हमें सही दिशा दे सकते थे इन्वेस्टिगेशन को, उन्हें people are not paying attention or they were overlooked. On the first day of the yatra, officials paused the drawing of chariots, Lord Jagannath's chariot around 5:45 p.m. because of an unprecedented rush. तो पता नहीं क्या था, लेकिन एक ऐसा there was a rush जो कि उस समय अनप्रेसिडेंटेड सोचा नहीं गया था कि उस समय ऐसा रश होगा. बट इट हैपेंड, अलाउिंग ओनली बालभद्रास एंड सुभद्रास चैरियट्स टू मूव. तो 2 चैरियट्स जो उनके भाइयों के चैरियट्स है वो तो मूव करे, लेकिन मेन मूव नहीं करा. द जगन्नाथ चैरियट वाज मूव सिंबॉलिकली एंड डेफर्ड, डिले करा गया टिल अर्ली ऑन सैटरडे. तो ये एक इवेंट हुआ. इन द इंटरवीनिंग आवर्स अबाउट 750 devotees were hospitalized due to heat, dehydration and crowd stress. इसके बीच में जो टाइम था, ओके, तो बीच के टाइम में जो लेट हुआ यहाँ पे, उसके पहले वाला टाइम, many people got sick. Eyewitnesses reported that a common exit gate was closed to create a separate VIP entry. ना लोगों का कहना है कि VIP एंट्री के लिए बंद कर दिया था, forcing everyday pilgrims, जो भक्त होते हैं pilgrims बोलते हैं, to exit through the same entrance path that was already congested. एंट्रेंस के लिए एक था, एग्जिट के लिए एक था, लेकिन एग्जिट को क्लोज कर दिया था फॉर VIP एंट्री. तो आना जाना एक ही जगह से हो रहा था. ओके. A single corridor that was being used for the flow in both directions resulted in more congestion. So a single corridor जो कि ऑलरेडी बहुत वहाँ पे भीड़ थी आने वालों की, वो और ज़्यादा कंजेशन हो गया, amplifying crowd pressure. The delayed arrival of the chariot also caused a bottleneck outside the Gundicha temple just before the dawn. Delayed arrival के कारण एक और हमारे पास रुकावट का कारण हो गया. Exhausted pilgrims, merged traffic flows, no exit access. The stage was set for a tragedy. तो इतने सब में तो ट्रेजेडी होना ही था. इट वॉज ऑल द इंडिकेटर्स कि ऐसे माहौल में कुछ गड़बड़ होना बहुत ही it was obvious at that point of time. Further, trucks with ritual materials entered the zone at 4:20 am. This unexpected movement shattered stalls. Further क्या हुआ? Trucks with ritual materials. तो जो भी उनको सामग्री होती होगी पूजा एंड ऑल की, उसमें जो भी ट्रक्स आए वो 4:20 am को आए. This unexpected movement shattered stalls, toppled devotees and triggered panic. उनका आने से ये stalls भी इधर उधर हो गए, लोग अभी devotees भी इधर उधर भगदड़ मची and they got into panic. This daily has highlighted India's tawdry record in crowd management. तो यहाँ पे क्या हुआ है? यहाँ पे हमको पता चलता है कि कितना cheap, when we say tawdry, it's like low level, cheap record in crowd management at religious gatherings, celebrity studded events, political rallies or post-sporting festivities, जो कि again previous to this incident was the stampede issue. Given that the climate discourse is at front and center globally, providing thermal comfort, hydration facilities, and taking precautions to shield women, children, and the elderly from the heat, especially during peak summer, should have been woven into conduct of the Rath Yatra years ago. तो ऑथर का एक सजेशन है यहाँ पे कि क्लाइमेट को अगर देखा जाए हर जगह जो हो रहा है तो थर्मल कंफर्ट देना चाहिए, समथिंग टू प्रोटेक्ट फ्रॉम डायरेक्ट हीट. Hydration facilities should be given. Some extra precautions should be taken to make sure that the women, children, and at least elderly are safe from the heat, especially from during this peak summer period. And ये सब पहले ही, because रथ यात्रा का time fix होता है, so it should have already been into place. As for VIPs, one way is to restrict any privileged entry and to provide access at the beginning or the end of the festivity. या तो उनको एक्सेस स्टार्टिंग में एंडिंग में दे दो, ऐसी प्रिविलेज एंट्री कभी भी मत दो. अलाउिंग अदर विजिटर्स प्रिडिक्टेबल एंड बैरियर फ्री एक्सेस. जो नॉर्मल सिविलियंस हैं उन्हें बैरियर फ्री एक्सेस मिले. द बेस्ट वे इज टू एंड इंडियाज एंस्ट्रेंज वीआईपी कल्चर. सो अल्टीमेटली ऑथर हैज टारगेटेड द वीआईपी कल्चर, जिसकी वजह से सब अस्त व्यस्त हो जाती हैं चीजें. तो ऑथर का कहना है सबसे बेस्ट है कि उसी को टारगेट करके ठीक करो ना, लाइक दैट. सो Stampede is भगदड़, रश, पैनिक, स्पेशली जहाँ एक दूसरे के ऊपर ही लोग चढ़ जाते हैं. स्टोरी इज समथिंग विच इज लेजेंडरी, ऐतिहासिक होती है, फैबल्ड है, लोग उसकी कहानियाँ सुनाते हैं. लैप्सेस मीन्स एरर्स, फेलियर्स, गैप्स, किसी प्रकार की गलती. कॉन्ग्रीगेशन इज रिलीजियस सभा, गैदरिंग, असेंबली, स्पेशली अगर वो एक रिलीजियस पर्पस से मिल रही. Bottleneck is any kind of delay or obstruction, hindrance, किसी प्रकार की अड़चन. Toppled is overturn होना, गिरना, पड़ना, पलट जाना. Shatter is चकनाचूर होना, broken, smashed into small pieces. Tawdry is gaudy, cheap, something बहुत ही भड़कीला सा, घटिया सा, cheap सा. Thermal comfort is heat relief. Entrenched is deep rooted, कोई चीज किसी में पूरी तरह से embedded है, fixed है. Privileged, entitled, favored लोग, VIPs privileged होते हैं. Discourse is any kind of debate, बातचीत क्या चल रही, क्या it's communication, it's a dialogue with a purpose. तो उसे discourse बोला जाता है, ठीक है. The tone here was critical and urgent because author started with how many stampede events happened in the past 12 months. Sure. Art of speech. Swift is adjective. Sheer means complete, yeah. Part of speech. It is also adjective because how is the investigation? Investigation pending करने का काम तो कर नहीं रही है ना? It cannot be my main verb. It looks like continuous tense, but it is not. It is adjective. Okay. Subject verb agreement of this sentence. यहाँ पे daily, the word daily, which is a noun in this case, is singular subject and has highlighted is the word part, has been in agreement with the word daily. Now, daily is as a noun is used for any newspaper, e-newspaper or paper newspaper. But if you don't know, daily का एक meaning as a noun newspaper के लिए भी use होता है. Part of speech. Can you ever use the with an adverb and then there is a preposition? There is no noun further on. It is an adjective. Just ly देख के ये बोल देना कि adverb है. We cannot do that. Okay. So elderly word is an adjective. We also know this because the with adjective gives you a noun that is for the whole group. All the elderly people. तो people बोलने की जरूरत नहीं, समझ में आ रहा है जब women बोल रहे, children बोल रहे, तो the elderly is acting as a noun, plural noun in fact. Okay, so elderly is an adjective, and with the when we treat it as a plural noun. So summary goes this way: the editorial critiques the deadly stampede during the Rath Yatra, exposing systemic flaws because he has clearly blamed system for it to happen in crowd management, infra planning, and persistent VIP culture. उसने बोला सब है, highlight VIP culture को किया. Despite the historical nature of the festival and the predictable size of crowd, सब पता है क्या होगा. Negligence led to fatalities and injuries. The core argument stresses that VIP privileges must not override public safety. उनकी वजह से public को नुकसान ना पहुंचे. And it calls for, मतलब demands, serious reform in event planning, especially in the face of increasing climate vulnerabilities. First question. Answer is definitely C. What is the most plausible reason for the tragic stampede? Poor crowd control. Rituals की तो बात ही नहीं, रिचुअल्स का लेना देना क्या है? And VIP interference. VIP के पीछे तो है ही ना author clearly. Okay, answer is again C. Which aspect of Indian governance is most criticized? Negligence and VIP culture. One understand. Third, the answer is B. What role did climate conditions play? Increase dehydration, fatigue, worsening the situation. B is the answer. Fourth one. Answer is B again. The editorial implies that which of the following was the biggest operational failure? Unannounced cancellation of event, lack of social media, mixing of entry-exit routes. This was the biggest problem that happened, because of which congestion increased. Answer is C. What long-term solution does the editorial advocate? Eliminating the privileges. खत्म करो इसे. The question. Despite repeating warnings, see, repeated warnings will make sense, because if you say despite repeating warnings, it would mean that organizers, they kept on repeating warnings n number of times. So interpretation क्या हो जाएगा कि organizers ने तो warnings दी थी, and they also failed to install the barricades. So that makes no sense, है ना? तो repeated आना चाहिए यहाँ पे. Repeating गलत इसलिए हुआ because the context is something else in the second half of the sentence. नो, बीइंग रिपीटेड भी नहीं आएगा. Yes. Seventh, A is the problem. Being exhausted and dehydrated. The early arrival, this is the noun, this is your modifier part. It is explaining arrival. Does that make any sense? क्या समझ में आ रहा है कि arrival exhausted और dehydrated था? And even if you make changes here, pilgrims को actually those who were exhausted and dehydrated, sentence के subject में लाना is changing everything in the sentence, जो हम नहीं करते हैं. So this is a question where only spotting the error is something that you have to do. A is the answer. This is wrong modifier. वो गलत जगह लगा हुआ है. The government quickly formed a committee to investigate the causes of the mishap. Answer is C. And you don't investigate about, you simply investigate the thing जो कि investigate करनी है. So about is of no use over here. Okay? C would be the answer. इसको आपको ignore करना है, ये option को. अगर आपने E भी बोला है, I'll consider that you thought through. There is this type of situation could have been avoided. कैसे? Easily with more careful planning. There is no error. Why? Being what problem it is giving. Should be a reason na? If you feel a word is wrong. Uh-huh. A proper allocation is essential. Allocation is a subject, तो is आएगा. Yes, of whatever resources and volunteers is essential for such mega event. The answer is A, no doubt. The officials' dismissive attitude towards basic protocols led to chaos. Chaos क्यों हुआ होगा? क्योंकि attitude नहीं सुनने वाला है, dismissive attitude है, structured है, attentive है, तो there would have been no chaos. But scornful है, scathing है, तो वो dismissive है. Authorities must establish clear dash between VIP areas and general public zones. Distinctions. You cannot establish directions. You can give directions, you can take directions, right? So distinctions mean this is for VIP, this is for public. Yes. 12th answer is A. Many eyewitnesses describe the scene as utterly chaotic. उसके अलावा तो हो ही नहीं सकता ना, because people are running in panic. Chaos से भरा हुआ. Next. Okay. Uh, Health providers provided basic first aid and rehydration kits to dehydrated devotees. अभी इसमें तो इतना ज़्यादा सोचना नहीं. Sanitation kits to dehydrated devotees. अरे dehydrated devotees को sanitation करवाएंगे क्या उस समय पे? Rehydration होगा ना. COVID period has affected everyone. Huh? I mean, even the thoughts now are as per what used to happen in that period, the protocols we used to follow. The authorities were accused of dash the severity of the crowd situation. So accused kara hai. So they might have, of course, not understood the severity, that is underestimating. Yeah. Chalo. That's it. These were today's questions. समझ में आ गया ना रिहाइड्रेशन वहां पे क्यों आएगा? Right? I mean, you know. So sometimes answer is right in front of you. It's just that in the flow we feel like something is the answer, but it's not. What you have to do is go by the facts. The facts which are mentioned in the question, like it's to dehydrated devotees, to rehydration. Sure, Shashank. I would consider your suggestion here. I'll try to See, I'll just tell you, okay. Mostly the questions that when they're asked related to modifiers, modifier is in the beginning and main आपको check करना होता है, and it will start with verb third form or verb ing form. Mostly ऐसे start होगा, and then you will get a noun or a pronoun. All you have to learn doing is whenever your sentence begins with a phrase like using verb third form or verb ing, the phrase should indicate this noun, the immediate subject, जो कि आगे के सेंटेंस का मेन सब्जेक्ट होता है नाउन और प्रोनाउन. अगर वो वेरीफाई हो रहा है, वो जस्टिफाइड है, इफ दैट मेक्स सेंस, then the sentence is correct. Modifier error won't be there. If not, then there is modifier error. We wanted, अच्छा, in the that question, तो been वाला मैं आपको एक बार बता. So when I say the situation could have been avoided, it is the passive tone, been avoided, because avoided or not avoided by someone else. If I say could have avoided, that means situation is a person, the type of situation is a person, और ये किसी चीज को avoid कर रहा है. This is person avoiding something XYZ. That because I want that passive tone in my sentence, this been was important. हाँ, उसके बाद में डिहाइड्रेटेड, फिर डिहाइड्रेटेड ही रह जाते, सैनिटाइज करने से कोई उनको हेल्प तो होती नहीं. ओके गाइस, चलो. I hope you have learned a lot today. We are gonna meet tomorrow. Both the classes are on this channel. Okay. Take care. Bye.